Hello. We'd like to welcome not only you, but we'd also like to welcome this time for our Pikeville Independent Schools programming, Mr. Randy Roberts, President of the Alumni Association and Foundation for Pikeville Independent Schools. A great number of alumni continue to contribute to the success of this school district, and we, as always, want to say thank you to them. And of course, those alumni have to have a leader, and we're thankful and proud to say that Mr. Randy Roberts is the current leader and president of the Alumni Association and Foundation. First off, I'd like to begin by saying thank you, Mr. Roberts, for your willingness to serve and the phenomenal amount of hours that you're putting in. I know in attending last night's alumni board meeting, there were some exciting things going on there with the foundation. If you don't mind, could you please share with the community exactly what the purpose of the Alumni Association and Foundation are to Pikeville Independent Schools?
Thank you, Mr. Green. I appreciate the opportunity. The Pikeville Independent Alumni Association and Foundation is a collaborative effort among the alumni and friends of the school to continue with the mission and the rich tradition and heritage of Pikeville Independent Schools. We'll soon be celebrating our 100th anniversary as a school system, and I think that's something to celebrate, 100 years of an independent school system that has excelled in education and athletics and all kinds of success stories with our alumni. And so the Alumni Association's mission is to keep that student body together through the years, the current with those graduates that we've had. And it's an exciting time for us to come together and to celebrate the history and the love that we have for Pikeville High School.
Well, I know you spend a great deal of time working on a newsletter to keep members updated on not only current events, but class reunions. And want to make sure that you highlight some successes of former alumni. Could you share some information about the newsletter?
Yes, we try to send out a monthly newsletter. Right now we send it just via email addresses that we have, and we're very cognizant and sensitive to the fact that a lot of our graduates don't have email addresses. So we're working on a plan that can have a mixture between both an email electronic newsletter as well as a paper copy. They are archived on the website of the school for the Alumni Association, any of the former publications. We try to do that monthly, and we do have a blending of the current news as well as some historical facts so that it shows the weaving of our school and the current groups and our history as well.
I know we need to commend Mr. Rowe and the staff at Pikeville High School, because in conjunction with the high school athletic events, I know that they've tried to work in at the high school several different alumni events, whether it be reunions and tied and recognizing those individuals at halftime, or where those individuals could see relatives participating in other extracurricular activities here, and those are highlighted. But last night, I was enormously excited to see a project that's currently underway, and I think our community, especially the alumni, are going to be excited about regarding videos and pictures, online footage of or historical footage of our school district. Could you share some information about that?
Yes, this is an exciting project. We have been given a lot of footage, either millimeter films, DVD players, films, slides, a variety of different recordings of a history of the school, sports events, homecoming parades, basketball, football, girls basketball teams as well through the years. So the Alumni Association has taken this project, a historical films project, and have made that an effort to promote and to preserve the history, and working with the journalism class of the high school and learning some different media tricks, I guess to say, some talents of that program. This is going to be all placed online and will be available to all alumni and friends of the school that will be able to purchase these, to view them, and it's just a really exciting project. It brings back good memories. It's nice to see how Styles have changed in clothing, and our football field and our basketball facilities. Again, it highlights a lot of the dedication of the community with the school, and a lot of our athletes and successful stories that they have had. So it's a nice historical project that will be able to relive those memories and to visit with those and to remember some of the history of Pikeville High School.
I know of no other school district or foundation or alumni association that's trying to reach as far as this group. For example, I was intrigued by the idea of trying to go back every year throughout the history of this school district and place yearbooks online so that alumni or community members, or as you said, friends, could go through and actually flip through those yearbooks and take a photograph of a relative or a friend of someone and download that, print it, and for a nominal fee or a cost just above what the cost of the actual printing fee would be, and offer that to individuals. I thought that was exciting.
It is exciting. Ann Epperson Carty, graduate of Pikeville High School, the class of '46, had the great idea, and with the support of the school administration, created the Maroon and White Room, which is in the located just outside Alumni Auditorium on the campus of the high school. And that museum houses all kinds of memorabilia from Pikeville High School: class rings, diplomas, uniforms, yearbooks, class newspapers. It's a rich collection of information, and so we're hoping that we could also add that to our memorabilia, that we would be, as you said, with online, that people can look at yearbooks and school newspapers and so forth through the years.
Well, the board members and the members of the foundation last night were as intrigued, or possibly even more intrigued, because several of them, that was during their years here at Pikeville Independent Schools. And I just saw their excitement, and I can't imagine for those alumni that do not live nearby that this will be a treat for them. Something that I need to make sure that our audience realizes also, Miss Carty, that's the same Miss Ann Carty that's a school board member for Pikeville Independent Schools, and as you mentioned, has donated a tremendous amount of time on her part to that museum. And we have, as far as I'm aware, out of 174 school districts, the only museum dedicated to a school district. So that's something to be tremendously proud of, and that's something that everyone visits typically. And she tries to have that open at events where we have Alumni Auditorium as the location for events whenever events are held there. But something that we'd be remiss in sharing with you about our Alumni Association and Foundation is, in the past, they've been very giving to our schools, and whether it be in giving grants or scholarships. Mr. Roberts, could you share the number of scholarships that the foundation currently allots to students from Pikeville Independent Schools, and ways in which the money is derived for those scholarships? As a matter of fact, one of those events is coming up shortly.
That's right. Thank you. You know, the Alumni Association has expanded its role through the years. Some previous graduates were interested in creating a foundation, and then it was separate from the Alumni Association. Then the two were blended, and the foundation was set up as a way to help assist in the classroom projects of the faculty for the school, elementary, junior high, or high school. And they can each spring provide a request for consideration for some project that would be a learning project for their classes, but it's above and beyond a traditional classroom setting or learning experience. And then the foundation reviews those requests and funds them to begin in the following school year. More to your point with the Alumni Association and scholarships, currently I think there's at least 10 different annual scholarships that are available to our high school seniors. They can each apply for those. Some are more specific, whether it might be sports related, but some showing school spirit. But most of them are general applications that the student would make for consideration for these scholarships, and then those are granted each May to the graduating class. Those scholarships are awarded at that time. The Alumni Association recognizes the need for scholarships and to assist our students in their pursuing their college education. So one thing that we've started this year would be a fall masquerade ball. It will be held on Saturday, October the 15th. Begins at 8 o'clock, goes from 8 till midnight. It'll be held at the Mark V, and the cost per ticket is $50. And all proceeds for this go to the scholarship fund. So we will be continuing with that. Maybe even to expand the number of scholarships that are available based on funding. We'll have a silent auction with some exciting different items. We'll be premiering the historical film project, so that'll be unveiled that night and presented to give people an indication of what's to come with all of that film footage. And just be a great evening of food and fun and music, and we're excited about this new opportunity.
Well, I know last night, excuse me, I got to set in on some of the conversation dealing with everything from decorations to the gifts, which I think are going to be phenomenal at the silent auction. And not only will you have food, fun, and entertainment, 100% of the proceeds go for a great cause, and that's scholarships here. And again, the foundation is a huge reason, or part of the reason, that our graduates at Pikeville High School typically receive 2 scholarships per graduate annually. And again, that's one of the huge benefits for attending the school district that our community needs to be thankful for. And we appreciate your all's help in that area. And I'm sure that the students do, aside from just the thank you notes that go to the individuals that's responsible for this, for those of you that purchase a ticket, attend the ball, and again, I don't think that it's a requirement that they dress up.
No, it's optional. You can dress up. You can dress up, or you can come casual.
Right.
Yes.
I don't know of a better way, not only to spend your evening, but for the proceeds to go for the students' futures within this community. So we just want to thank you in advance for your interest in that, and look forward to seeing you there. And on behalf of Pikeville Independent Schools, certainly want to say thank you to both you and the foundation.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Again, we want to thank Mr. Randy Roberts and the foundation for the enormous contribution they make to Pikeville Independent Schools. And now we can begin our usual program with the 2 stars of the show, Mr. Michael Rowe, principal at Pikeville High School, and Mr. Robert Jones, principal at Pikeville Elementary School. And some really exciting things have been occurring within our school system since the last airing of the Principals Forum. So we'll begin with Mr. Rowe, the staff, the students, the school, and of course the elementary school for providing such a fine raw product to the high school should be commended on the phenomenal college and career readiness scores. Would you like to share some the information regarding the results of those?
Yes, I would. First, I want to thank Mr. Jones and his staff. Like you said, they're sending us a top quality product, which makes our job a whole lot easier. So I do want to thank you all for what you all do for us. But with the college and career readiness, we just got the scores in this past week. We, as a high school, are ranked 6th in the state of Kentucky, and as a district, we're 4th in the state of Kentucky. And that just kind of shows the work that our faculty, staff, and students are putting in to making us better. And we know parents want their students ready for the career and ready for college. And by doing this, we're bringing scholarships to our kids. It's saving mom and dad a whole lot of money. And it just shows, once again, that we're working hard and we're going to continually get better. So we're not happy with 4th and 6th. We're going to be number 1 in both.
Right. Well, congratulations on that. As you'll recall from our first show, we talked a great deal about the focus on college and career readiness, and how whenever you meet for the first time, at whether it be at preschool, at the elementary school, or at kindergarten, and Mr. Jones is hosting that meeting, typically parents really have one underlying question that they want answered. Will you help me prepare my son or daughter for the next level beyond K-12 education? And that's our number one goal, is to provide students the ability to be, or to assist them in being successful at the next level. So the students, the staff, the community members are all to be commended. We're talking about 239 high schools, and again, we're not satisfied with number 6, but just want to congratulate the students on that effort, and also out of 174 districts, again, ranking number 4. And again, we won't be satisfied even at number 1, because we're about continuous improvement, and we want to continually improve each day here at Pikeville Independent Schools. And on the topic of those scores and students' results, I know that some accommodations went out from you, Mr. Jones, to the staff regarding results. Would you like to share those?
Yeah, we first of all want to say this is not twin day, Mr.
Although it is really at the elementary school.
It is at the elementary school.
I do like how you dressed today, though.
that was not planned. But anyway, no, I do want to say we, of course, in 2000, we know that the goal was set for all schools to reach proficiency by the year 2014. We know since that has been changed, we have the new K-Prep system in place, but our school has always, you like to have that look to progress, see how we're progressing along that original goal. We calculate the academic index that was originally planned in 2000 through 2014. We like to look at those scores, and we did receive our scores back. If you remember, the original goal was for all schools to reach 100 by the year 2014. We have consistently, over the last several bienniums, have stayed over that 100 mark. We, in all areas, actually all grade levels, in grades 3 through 6, reading in grades 3 through 6, math in grades 3 through 6, and then your science and your social studies in grades 4 and 5 respectively, and on-demand writing in grades 5. We were consistently over 100, 104 overall in reading, 105 overall in math, 108 in science and social studies, respectively. 95 on-demand writing, which is a prompt given to students, and you have a time limit in which you're to write a response. 95, an index of 95 is a good score there. We're very pleased overall with our scores. I want to commend the teachers. I want to commend the students foremost on their performance. Of course, you always find when you receive your reports, you always find areas that you can seek to improve. And like you said, we're never satisfied with where we are. We can take a moment and be thankful for what we have, the students we have, the job our teachers doing, but we always have to look towards that next testing cycle next year. We feel like we always turn out a good product, a good student to go to Mr. Rowe and the junior high. We're a proud district. We have a lot of academic success, and we're proud of our high school, our junior high on their accomplishments. But we never want to rest on our laurels. And although we are proud, although we have had some great success, we want to continue to grow, and we can always get better. But again, I just want to say that I'm very proud of our school, our students, and our teachers, and thanks to you and the board for all the resources that you give us that allows us to achieve this success.
And on that note of assessments, although we're discussing summative assessments, there's formative assessments that occurred during the year that students have been taking at different levels throughout the school district. And may want to share some results that will be going out to parents to kind of give them a heads up. If it's important enough that we take your son or daughter's time to assess them, then it's important that we share those results with you. And those results will be going out soon, along with an explanation on understanding those results. You may want to touch on that.
Hopefully within the next a day or so before fall break. I don't want to date this recording, but
Right.
within the next days or so. Of course, our fall break is October 6th and 7th. But we have completed our initial benchmark assessment in reading and math for all students. We have 3 assessments during the school year. The initial assessment in reading and math, we use the STAR math or the STAR reading program, and we also use the Ames Web is our math program. We have completed all of our initial benchmark testing actually within the last few days. We are trying our very best to prepare reports to be sent home with all of our students before fall break, which means within the next day or so. If that doesn't happen, which I think it will, if that doesn't happen, that report will go out very soon. And it kind of provides an explanation. I was actually looking at a couple of those sample reports just today, as a matter of fact, and it provides an explanation for parents as to where their child stands. It kind of gives a reading level, based on a grade level that would make it easier for a parent to understand, and also gives some suggestions on how the parent could help their child at home. And also we noticed today something that I had never really noticed before. There's an option, we're going to try to get this out, that allows the parent to sign that they've received the report, and also give the information to schedule a conference with their child's teacher if they need further explanation as to what the report means. So again, like you said, we have tested benchmark in reading and math, and those reports will be coming home very soon.
The exciting thing about this is that, excuse me, as Mr. Jones just mentioned, these assessments, students were assessed in both reading and math. So instead of 1 hour a day per teacher within those grades, or just to focus on that, if we share those results with parents, it goes exponentially the amount of improvement that we can have, instead of just the teacher using that information to help improve the student for the 1 hour that they may have them in math or within reading. But the other teachers get to see this information, and certainly parents at home. And just as you mentioned, it has suggestions there, or ways to focus to improve your son or daughter level, whether it be in comprehension skills or computation skills in mathematics. So there's strategies and suggestions for that. And again, if you have any concerns or have any questions, please contact the elementary school, and they can make sure that they give you the teacher's planning time, so that way you can schedule an appointment. If you like to schedule an appointment with the teacher or the guidance counselor to review the assessment information. So the thing that we can do to help improve that student is to make sure that mom or dad understands exactly where their son or daughter is progressing, so that if there is any intervention, we can address that immediately and move forward in a positive way. Anything you'd like to add?
And we always want to point out that an assessment is just that. It's one indicator of student performance. When you take a 1 day or one class period assessment in reading or math, there's always the option that the child could not be feeling well that day, or it's just one look. And so I want to make sure I encourage parents that when they see these reports, if they have any questions, please, always contact us, ask us. But you understand that's one indicator. There's other indicators. So any questions at all, that you always that a parent has, please contact us. We can always explain, and probably we'll be able to give the parent an insight as to why there may have been a different performance that the parent expected. Right. So there's always other indicators there, though.
It's something too. Here we have an enormous amount of gifted and talented students within our school district. Again, that's a huge part of the reason that we have the results that we do as far as assessments. Need to say thank you to Miss Tracy Tackett and our gifted and talented teacher. As a matter of fact, I believe they're meeting today and tomorrow concerning placements for 2 additional areas and committees regarding referrals for gifted and talented students and placements, and those gifted student service plans. It's a specific plan for your son or daughter, if they are within the gifted program, has now been folded into the individual learner plans or the IOPs. Anything that either of you would like to say regarding that? Or I know that you have specific meetings at the high school for the IOPs and try to tie that in. I know Ms. Salmons, the guidance counselor, does a phenomenal job with those.
Yes, with our ILPs, our goal is to find out what ticks inside of each of our children, and doing that allows us to see where the gifted areas are. And by doing that, the ILPs allow us to put the students on a plan of how to achieve that. And it's an individual plan, so I think the Gifted and Talented program at Pikeville is as strong as I've seen anywhere, and it is allowing our students to grow beyond what a normal student would at a different pace. So I think it's advantageous for us, and we're excited that we have it.
Right.
And a state will only allow us to place a child in a gifted talented program at grade 4. We have questions all the time. Ms. Tackett, by the way, Tracy Tackett does a phenomenal job with the program. Miss Sherry Tackett before her did a great job with that. But we always have questions early on in a child's career. We think a child is advanced, and we have many who are advanced, far beyond their grade level, maybe in reading in primary. And we have these questions. We have a thing that we call a primary talent pool. We kind of stick, well, we don't stick, but we keep a running list, so to speak, of some candidates, just like a basketball coach evaluates talent, football coach evaluates talent along the line before they get to that varsity age level. But anytime a teacher or a parent even makes a recommendation that they think they have a child who is performing well above level, if they're not at the age that they can be, and we do screen all of our children actually it used to be the end of 3rd grade, now it's the beginning of 4th grade for some academic areas and gifted and talented. But anytime we have a mention of a name early on, we keep track of those kids, and we have a little running record as we go along, but you can't formally identify till they're in 4th grade.
Right. And of course, we just touched on some of the successes that these students produce, and something that I need to compliment you both on are the weekly stakeholder emails, and in an effort to share additional information with the community and the stakeholders. Both principals send those emails out, and I know that and I'm always reluctant to do this or to mention this, because you always leave someone out that's more than deserving. But I noticed several individuals that were mentioned. If you'd like to highlight some of those individual efforts at school.
Yeah, I'm kind of reluctant the same way you are, because you always do leave somebody out. So if I do leave somebody out, I apologize for that. But the 2 that pop into my mind right now, we have Mary Hillwig. She was a National Merit semifinalist, which is an outstanding achievement. It's the 2nd year in a row we've had that. We also have Mr. Sam Potter with a perfect score on the ACT, which is the 2nd year in a row. I couldn't imagine being able to answer all the questions correctly on the ACT. It would be mind-boggling. We've got numerous students scoring at 35 and 34, where they're right on the cusp of that, and that's the reason we have the scholarships we do here in Pikeville, because our students have risen up to the challenge on these college admissions tests.
So this is the 2nd year in a row that a different student has a perfect score on the ACT.
That is correct, and for a school this size, that's unheard of.
Congratulations to those students and to the staff. And I know something that parents and stakeholders really look forward to is the information about upcoming events at both schools. And I know that aside, everyone's maybe focused on those 2 days of fall break and the long weekend that we have coming up. but there's several more events before we have our next broadcast in 3 weeks of the Principals Forum. And at this time, I just ask the principals to kind of touch on or to highlight some of those major events that are upcoming.
We have homecoming October the 7th. It'll be Friday evening, a game versus South Floyd. So we hope all of our former alumni come and help celebrate that evening with us. We have the homecoming dance Saturday, which is October the 8th. We also have the PSAT test, the practice SAT test for approximately 30 of our students who have signed up for it. We have that October the 18th, a big day for us. And we have our first drama, which we're pretty excited about, The Legend of Sleepy Hollow. That is set for October 28th, 29th, and 30th. I'll be getting out on the stakeholder email at specific times, and we invite our public to come out and watch our debut.
So something new that I noticed that's going on at the homecoming game is students are invited to come out and tailgate.
Yes, WZLK 107.5. Miss Jill Fraley, who used to work for the district, is working well with us. And we're having a chance for our students to come out and win some free prizes. They'll get interviewed, and it's a way for us to partner and get more communication out to our stakeholders.
So there will actually be students interviewed on the radio
Yes,
station?
there will.
At that
Yeah,
time?
be randomly pulled. They don't know who it is yet, so we're all practicing our speeches.
Okay, that's great. Mr. Jones.
We have a couple. Of course, we mentioned in a previous broadcast and in my email. And by the way, I want to compliment Mr. Rowe. I've been in this business a while myself, but I took the idea. I claim it's my own, but it was actually Mr. Rowe's idea for the stakeholder email, and have copied him. I usually wait till I get his email before I send mine out. He does a great job with that. But I guess the main activity before our next taping, we have the family nights throughout the school year. We have 5 scheduled for this school year. Our second one will be coming up on October 22nd, and it's always our most successful one. It's Reading with the Bears night. Coach Kelly Wells does a phenomenal job at our school. He brings his players over on this night, and they read. We have a large attendance. They read with our kids. You read to our kids, and our kids are able to take AR tests at that time, accelerated reader tests on those books. But that's always our biggest night in attendance. And while the students are reading with Coach Wells, his assistant coaches, and the basketball team, our parents in attendance will be having of course, a speech by me they have to sit through, but after that there will be a substance abuse awareness. We have some local law enforcement officers who always come in and give our parents a little refresher and a talk about some signs of substance abuse and some different things you can look for there. That's always been a successful event there at our school. So again, that's October 22nd. The week of October the 17th through 21st will be our Red Ribbon Week, Drug-Free Schools Week. We have several activities planned, several guest speakers planned during that week. And the last week of the month, I think it begins the 24th, we have our book fair. That's always successful. There at school we have a lot of books and a lot of people attend with their students, parents, grandparents. So many big events coming up.
I know typically the PTO is really involved in the fall festivals and things too.
PTO, I will say that we are in the process of finalizing the date for, I'm glad you mentioned that because I forgot that our fall festival. I know it's either going to be the 22nd or the 29th. I don't have that date exactly, but I will send that out in my email. We'll send a note home about our fall festival. Saturday, our PTO is actively involved in that. Mr. Green usually comes over and gets a few pies in his face, and we're going to try to get Mr. Rowe over there this year and have a few pies thrown in his face. But it's all for a good cause, and our PTO does a great job. Again, expect in your email an invitation to our next PTO meetings. They've been trying to become more involved, or get parents more involved by having their meetings coinciding with our community nights. And again, either the 22nd or the 29th, but I will put that date out in an email.
Could both of you gentlemen kind of share with the community members some of the hot topics that were discussed either at the principal's coffee or at your parent advisory meeting that you have with dealing with the principal advisory with the parents, or the most recent meetings that you've had, or ones of particular interest that you kind of shared information about, so we have an opportunity to share those things with the community at this time?
I can go ahead and start if it's okay. One thing we discussed, and we discussed not only in the parent action committee we got together, but with many of our stakeholders, is the level of rigor we are raising in our classroom. We're pushing the dual credit courses, and we're pushing the AP courses, and our kids are stepping up to the plate. But when that happens, so does the rigor in the classroom. So I think a lot of students were kind of shocked when they first saw the amount of work they're going to have to do with it, but they've risen to the occasion. And it's just reassuring parents that what we're doing is the correct thing. And what happens a lot of times, students don't have that level of rigor in certain schools. And when they get to college, that smack in the face on that first exam. Some of our students are probably having that smack in the face on that first exam when they're taking these AP classes. So it's much better they get that now than to get it later. So our students have went through that first round. We had a few concerns. We walked through that with the students and the parents, and now realize that we're going in the right direction. So have confidence in us. We're doing the right thing, and it's going to pay off when our students get to the post-secondary.
There was just prior to the taping of this show, I left a meeting or the campus there at UPAC, and before I was moving out of my parking space, there was a bus from Pikeville Independence, a huge bus, and the bus was filled with students getting off to attend classes at University of Pikeville. And again, as always, we want to say thank you to them for the opportunities and for the opportunities that our students have by attending those courses. That's just a huge benefit for this, and again, it is at no cost. And again, we want to thank Governor Patton for that opportunity where our students can earn up to 29 college credit hours.
Yes.
29 college credit hours at zero cost. I know of no other place in the Commonwealth where that can occur, that possibility occurs. So I'm thankful that my sons will hopefully have that opportunity. So just want to thank them, and I was just being thankful on the drive back to this office from the University of Pikeville for the opportunity for our students. Mr. Jones?
Well, I echo that. I told my wife the other evening that it's certainly going to be a blessing to have that opportunity for my children as they go through this district. So that is a great thing. You mentioned hot topics. We talked about, of course, our parents are asking questions, responding to emails. You want to know exactly what to expect on the next test, coming up. We've explained that. Of course, the biggest topic now. As a matter of fact, Mr. Rowe and I and myself were just discussing this earlier. Is the program reviews? I think he's got his underway. We're getting ours underway. Actually, beginning on the 10th. We to look in the areas of arts and humanities, practical living, vocational studies, and writing to review our programs. That's the big unknown right now. Is by the time we complete those 3 cycles of program reviews, and how's that going to turn out? But I'm sure our teachers will rise to the occasion. They rose to the occasion. In the SACS accreditation review. This is a similar type review of our academic programs. It's a rigorous review of our academic programs, and so again, as Mr. Rowe and I talked earlier, that's underway. That's kind of the next big thing. We're looking forward to getting that going.
Thank you. There's a great deal of concern among principals and school superintendents across the Commonwealth right now, and it's a hot topic among state school board members and the commissioners. In addition to that, world language at the elementary school. Again, these program reviews are, in essence, self-assessments that the schools are required to complete within those areas that Mr. Jones just mentioned. And we have to complete it during this school year at 3 different times, 3 individual assessments of how our students are progressing within these areas. And of course, this is the first time that school districts across the state have had to complete these, so it's a learning process for all. And again, there's a learning curve with just about anything that we do. Of course, we already know, and there's going to be a great deal more time probably go into this because it is our first year with this. So, and we're trying to make it the least amount of distraction as possible, and again, teach from bell to bell and make sure we don't waste one instructional second. You know, typically, and I know these gentlemen are the same, whenever we ask the staff or the teachers, what can I help you with, or what can I get you to help you improve, invariably they'll look at me and always smile and say, can you get me more time? I need more time with the students. Can you get us more time to go over this or to cover this? So we try not to waste an instructional second because we realize how important those seconds are. And the amount of information we have to cover, as Mr. Rowe mentioned earlier, that level of rigor. The commission's mentioned several times dealing with the level of rigor and possible pushback because students would be going home saying, Mom, Dad, this work's too hard because of these new standards, and the work has been ratcheted up. And again, we're trying to make sure that they're prepared for the next level with that college and or career readiness. Any other highlights or things that you'd like to mention to the community at this time within either of the schools or on behalf of either of the schools?
I can speak athletically. One we're very excited about. Our boys golf team didn't win the regional tournament. We're excited about that. Traveling to Bowling Green for the state tournament. We also had 2 individual females, Lindsay Eisner and Stacy Gooch, who qualified for the girls golf state tournament. So Pikeville High School and Junior High is known throughout the state for its golf. As a matter of fact, the boys team is ranked currently 8th in the state, and we want to wish them good luck.
I tried to get an update just before we began this taping here, and there was a 1-hour delay in the western portion of the state where they were teeing off. So good luck to the golf team. Again, congratulations for bringing home another regional championship within that area, especially Mr. Johnson within that area. The other 2 female students, Miss Gooch and also Miss Eisner.
Yes.
Again, as one of your favorite words, kudos to them.
Kudos.
That's right. Mr. Jones, anything at the elementary school?
Just just as always, we try to. We don't want to have anyone have any questions. If you have any questions at all, call me. Call the teacher. Email. I'd love to sit down and talk with you. Anyone has any questions at all? We don't want you to feel uninformed. And that's basically it that I have. And although I want to let Mr. Rowe know that next taping will be UK Blue.
Thank you.
Something to just so you'll know, even though it's fall break for our students, there's a great deal going on here within the schools. I know that Thursday, kindergarten and first grade teachers are scheduled to meet with parents concerning conferencing with them on their
several
assessment
individuals
results.
also. So yeah.
Right.
And also we have a PLC, 2-hour PLC, a learning community meeting that day. Several teachers have scheduled individual conferences, but our kindergarten and first grade have scheduled to meet with their parents. We also have a Dreambox math training. It's a new program to measure progress in math. That training, it's a WebEx training for our primary teachers and also our math teachers in our intermediate grades. All that's coming up on Thursday.
Right. That's a great deal going on. And that's what I was going to point out to our community. Just because the students are on fall break, we'll have many of the parents in here Thursday. Of course, the staff will be working Thursday. You'll see a lot of improvements, everything from tree trimming outside the high school to installation of new lighting within classrooms at the elementary school during fall break. So just as you try to get ready for guests visiting your home, Our guest will return Monday after fall break, and of course that's our customers we serve, the students, and we'll try to make sure we have everything ready for them when they return after fall break. Wish everyone the best during the long 4-day weekend and fall break for students and for parents. Thank you.